Okay, gang. I've got an interesting guy here with us today, and he's Daniel Tortosa.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. And he's from, I say Spain, but it's not really Spain.
Oh yeah. I'm from Spain.
Spain, yeah.
Yeah, a part of Spain. Yeah.
Part of Spain.
Yeah, Valencia. Exactly. Yeah.
Is that with a B or a V?
That's with a
V.
V. Yeah.
Yeah. You need to learn how to speak English.
Try my best.
This is a sort of thing that I want to try and bring to people. Is when I first started with the idea of McGhie's Wild Country, it wasn't just about McGhie's. It's the Wild Country is about everybody.
Oh yeah.
And I love nothing more than meeting new characters as we go along, all around this country and overseas. I run into so many interesting people, and I often say I should have recorded that person, or I should have taken a photo of that person, or whatever. And oftentimes you don't. You just go through, and then you think about it later on. And I believe everybody's got a story. Everybody's got an interesting story. And that's one of the things I wanted to do with this channel, was to grab people when I can. So you've been leg raped today. I met Daniel only about a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, only a week ago.
Yeah.
We went to actually a One Nation meeting down in Brisbane at Springfield. Glenn Cookson is standing for that seat down there, a lovely guy who really, I believe he really wants to do his best for the people. He's an everyday guy. And we're lucky enough to spend a bit of time with Malcolm Roberts.
Yeah.
So Malcolm Roberts is one of those politicians that some people love him, some people hate him. I think far more people love him than hate him. And he just says what he thinks, and he researches. Very smart man. And he's only a little guy, but he's a man mountain with what he can do, and his knowledge is just incredible. So we had a great night there, and met Daniel, and a chance came to throw him in the truck. And off we went up into the ranges, and so you saw your first red deer.
Yeah, love it.
That was great. We were in the dark, and he jumped out across the road there. A beautiful young 5'6", and some wallabies and an echidna.
Yeah, the echidna.
The echidna, yeah. So I've just got to catch him a snake or something now. A snake,
Yeah, I would love that.
Love it. So. So it was interesting. We got a chance in the truck to just talk about things. And after talking with this young man for a while, I say young man, you're nearly 24?
Yeah, nearly 24,
Nearly 24, right? And you've travelled around a little bit?
Yeah, this is my last continent to be in. I've been all the rest of the world. All the continents,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that's inspirational. I think that's a lot. It's inspirational to a lot of our young people today, is like, get out there. The world is your oyster. Get out there and have a look at it. So it was good to get you in the truck, get up here and let you see some of the Aussie bush. Mm-hmm. And what we soon realised at this meeting and on the road was that we're both very passionate about hunting and about retaining our rights to hunt and our traditions and our culture. And for someone so young, it was just interesting to hear what you've already, done and achieved. And Spain, we hear about Spain and we think about, I think about Chile and Argentina and all down there, and there's some big red deer in there and other species. But you were brought up in that hunting environment, weren't you?
Yeah.
You tell me a bit more about yourself so that people can understand.
I come from a rural area. So in Spain we have up to the east, it's a community Valencian, and most people know Valencia because of the city and the parties. But if Spain is way more than that. It's way more than flamenco. It's way more than the big cities like Madrid, Barcelona that everyone knows. Spain is basically a rural country.
Yeah, we know Valencia because of the oranges. We have Valencia oranges here, and some of the best. So you said there's a lot of orchards.
Yeah, there's a lot of orchards. and a lot of Valencian orange.
Yeah.
So that's basically and we like to hunt a lot there.
Right. What are your main species?
Well, I would say the rabbit and the
Rabbit?
partridge. The red partridge. It's a very emblematic species in Spain, and many people don't know, for example, that when you're hunting the partridge go. They don't. Most of the times they don't even fly. They will just hide, running around the orange trees, for example.
Okay. So you use dogs on them to flush?
Yeah. We use dogs, but I would say the most typical hunt in Valencia is just the rabbit with the dogs, and even without a shotgun.
Right.
With shotgun or without a shotgun, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the rabbit, yeah.
So the rabbit and partridge, they're native?
Yeah, they're native and really respected. Also the hare, we have the hare.
Yeah.
But
So we say respected. Look, over here, our rabbit are seen as like the worst pest that's been brought in the country. I disagree. I say that when they're brought in for a reason, and some people might say misguided. But when you're a miner or a farmer or a labourer, ex-convict or whatever in this country in those early days when there wasn't a lot to eat except in Australia here bar wallabies, it would have been tough times. And you hear about the families that were brought up on rabbits. That's all they had to eat. They had rabbits 3 times a day. We owe a depth of gratitude to them, even though they're a problem, and they in some areas they blew out of all proportion, and they've had to put the rabbit fence in, huge area, and all of the history is there. But they did serve a purpose at the time.
Yeah. In Spain, the same. For example, the typical paella. When you think about Spanish gastronomy, it's a paella. It's paella, yeah.
Paella. Oh yeah, that's your dish. There's all the beautiful
with the rice, and that was created in Valencia. And the typical paella, the original recipe is up in the morning. You just go there, hunt a couple of rabbits, and then with those rabbits you make the paella. The original recipe is just rabbit. So rabbit has been also a big source of protein especially during the Civil War. We had a civil war back in the 30s, and after the Civil War, some families survived just on rabbit and partridge.
Rabbit and partridge. That's an incredible bit of history. Save people.
Hunting saved people.
So it's a big tradition in your country.
Yeah, it is.
How many hunters would you say there would be in Spain?
Yeah, right now they are with gun license. We have 800,000 people, so nearly a million, just with gun license. And I guess it's without the license, we get it all together, more than a million, for sure.
More than a million.
Maybe 1.5 million.
I heard there was a big rally there a while back. A big rally that they were protesting.
Yeah.
And they. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was there 1 million people? They said.
Yeah, nearly a million people. Yeah, nearly 1 million people.
Hunters that protested.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
There were also farmers too.
Yeah.
But most of us were hunters. Most of them were hunters. And we protested because of the laws that were being implemented, trying to put us down. Not only hunters, but basically all the rural world. The rural world in Spain is going downhill because of the government laws and the new policies.
Sounds very similar to here. How have you found Australia since you've been here?
I love it.
Love it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. People are nice. Weather
Right.
is nice. I can complain about anything.
Yeah.
Just leave out of things I'm just been here 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really also have the best experience meeting you. Yeah.
You're
So-
lucky.
Yeah.
But I've got to thank a good mate of mine, Rob Fickling from Morocco 30.
Yeah.
Now, Rob there, he sort of flicked through to me, said, "Here, I met this young guy. Like, give him a go." Yeah. So I took Rob's advice, and I don't regret it at all. But that's what I mean. There's so many great people all around the world, and so many stories.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were just talking yesterday that you can never lose with talking about with someone.
Yeah.
If you talk with someone, it's always a win.
It's always a win.
Always a win.
Exactly. And there's people. What I find is some people have got their minds open, and some people have got them shut.
Yeah.
And I always used to teach my kids that it would be like having a glass upside down. You can't pour anything into it. Or a glass up the right way, and you can pour into it, you can drink from it, right? So that's what I say to people: keep your minds open and the conversation open, and these things, they come in. So tell us more about over there. So is there a deer species?
Oh yeah.
Right.
We have roe deer.
Roe?
Which is the smaller.
Little
small,
one,
yeah. And we have I don't know how you call it. It's just a big deer with the
Red deer?
like the one we saw. Yeah.
Like the one
We saw yesterday, yeah. So that's that's basically the deer that we have in Spain.
And what predators?
Oh, we have wolves, okay.
Wolves?
So we have bears and wolves. We have a population of around maybe I'm wrong, but nearly 2,000 wolves. They are most of them up in the north.
Yes.
And we also have a quite big population of bears. Yeah.
Are they a black bear or brown?
They're brown bear.
Brown
It's
bear.
a brown bear, yeah.
Okay.
So and they eat deer, but it's not the most common meal for them.
Okay. So that's on the top side of Spain. You've got is Portugal.
No, that's on the west.
West side.
Yeah.
Right, west side, and you've got France
Yeah, France up in the north.
in the north.
Yeah.
Right. And what else? Who else borders you then?
No, that's it.
That's it. Just the two.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Right. So that's where the rougher country is against them. Or?
Yeah. Well, so basically, the big mountains, the
Right.
big rough mountains, are up in the north.
So what are they?
No.
Those mountains.
They're called the Pyrenees.
Pyrenees. Yes.
Pyrenees, yeah.
Pyrenees mountains.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've got goats in there as well. Like the,
Yeah, well, basically, we got goats all over Spain. Like back in the
Right.
days, we're just up in the north,
Yep.
in the Pyrenees, but they just came down and they have colonized all Spain.
Incredible. It's got like not the straight out horns. They've got more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
and how is it like your gun regulations over there or legislation? Is it fair? Is it easy to own a firearm?
No, it's not easy.
Not easy.
It's very restrictive.
Very restricted.
Yeah, and for example, in any case, in any trouble, in any trial, and in a dispute, regardless of if you are innocent or even if there's a trial going on,
Yes.
the police will take your guns.
Right.
So yeah, and also it's very restrictive. For example, you can if you go hunting and then you are coming back, you're going to let's say to a restaurant to
Yes.
enjoy a meal with your friends. You can leave the gun in the car, even if it's in a safe.
Right.
Yeah, you can get fined for that. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, well here we've got to have ours, like you see mine, locked away, bolts locked away, ammunition locked away. So it's very similar over there.
Okay.
Have you got to have a card with you, like a gun license?
Yeah.
So
You
is
need a
it
gun license, hunting license, a
Right.
permit from the land,
Right.
from the landowner.
yes?
Yeah.
So probably quite similar to what
Yeah.
some of our states have got. And that's where, like you would have seen, like the other night there when I was talking with Malcolm Roberts, that I was saying that we don't have that in Queensland. We have our firearms licenses and gun registration. We don't have any hunting licenses. We don't have any game hunting legislation. So we can only be pest controllers.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of our troubles are coming in, that they've been they've only gone down one track,
one path,
and it doesn't suit everybody. So they're getting dissent, they're getting resistance, they're getting all this from people who are saying, hey, this is, we have got culture, we have got heritage, we have got, and people like yourself, maybe one day you'll come and, live here, and we invite people like yourself with the same culture to, get in here. We need people that'll do that. It'd be lovely to be able to continue that. Because even in my family, I've got so many different people from so many different ethnic backgrounds, and I'm a good mate, and Uncle Oscar there with he's Chile, from Chile, and same thing. He speaks like you. He's got the same accent. he hasn't lost it after 40 years. Oscar, if you're watching, mate, but it's great to see his, because he's always put across to me his culture from over there and their hunting background, and how the game animals was so important to the people, especially in the rural communities. So no, it's an interesting thing. And tell me about you've got a bobcat over there too?
Yeah. A bobcat that it came to be one of the most endangered predator in the world.
In the world?
Yeah, in the world. It was near extinction. Yeah. It was very close to extinction. It's called the Iberian. That's the Iberian Peninsula, where Portugal and Spain is.
Right.
And it's called Iberian bobcat. And some time ago, I think it's a couple of months. They said it's not extremely endangered anymore, and that's thanks because of the governments across the year trying to reintroduce it, but a big part of it is thanks to the hunters, because the bobcats will go to the private lands where hunters we try to maintain a high number of rabbits.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, we don't try to eliminate them. We try to have a good amount without being a pest, but have a good amount so we can enjoy it. And
so you can actually catch and reintroduce rabbits.
Oh yeah, of course.
You get shot over here for doing that. They lock you away. So you go out and do that? Look, how do you catch the rabbits? We use ferrets over here, like in down south. Do you do?
Yeah. So that's the same. That's the same that we do in Spain. Yeah. We just go with guys with ferrets, and you talk with a landowner that he has a problem with rabbits. Maybe he has crops and they're destroying his crops. Let's say, for example, orange trees, when they're growing, the rabbits come and they destroy it. Once they're big, a tree is not a problem, but once they're little, it is.
Yes.
So we just go there and maybe we ferret with maybe 20 guys, 15 guys. In the morning we can get up to 400 rabbits. And back in the days it was maybe 600 rabbits, 700 rabbits, 800 rabbits in one day. It's crazy. And then you just sell them or to the lands where there's a less population.
So there's all kept alive, and you can transport them, shift them over there. You're taking some animals that are a problem to a landowner, and you're utilising them. And you can sell them.
We vaccinate them. We check that they are right. We kill the parasites that they have on them, and then we release them. The problem is now with the actual legislation is getting even more and more difficult. But this what has been doing all over the years, and we can still do it. It's just getting harder because of the actual legislation.
It's incredible because the rabbits here in Australia, as I said, were introduced, so they're seen as a terrible pest by some people, and you can't do anything with them. But even if they're a native, like our native over here, our kangaroos, right? We can't do that. We can't go and catch kangaroos and relocate them somewhere else. We can't touch them. It's very hard now to even get a permit to shoot them. In Queensland, it's like a definite no-no. There was a guy recently that was shooting kangaroos, an old guy, and he was shooting them incorrectly under the legislation, and he got like an $80,000 fine.
Wow.
You know, so there's no, what we're seeing and what you're describing is sustainable use management, and that's what we've tried to push here the whole time. Sustainable use. If you've got something and you've got too many of them, harvest them. Harvest them, utilize them. Don't just kill them and leave them lie. Now, we were talking about the helicopter shoots that we're seeing everywhere across the country here now. How does that sit with you? Does that, when I tell you about that, about say 100,000 deer being shot and left lie,
that just shocks me.
Shocks you.
It shocks you. Yeah. And I bet it will shock every hunter in Spain, because it's considered a crime.
Crime.
To do that. Crime to kill an animal and let it rot is considered a crime.
And so it should be. That's what we feel here, that it is criminal. It is. People are just forgetting their heritage. They're forgetting the history, the culture. They're forgetting everything, and more so their compassion and their common sense, humanity, decency. To be able to just do that, to slaughter and waste, and people say, "Oh, there's no other options." There are always options. Some of the options might be harder. It's like it'd be a lot easier to go and poison those 800 rabbits. And let them die. A lot easier. Just spread the poison, walk away. It's a lot harder for you to go out there organise a group of people with your ferrets and your nets and cages, and all you had to do. It would have been a huge job.
Yeah, but also people really enjoy it. They enjoy it.
Exactly.
They enjoy it. It's just that there's a big indoctrination to say this is wrong. Don't do it. But it has always been part of our culture. Always part of our tradition. As I said, it helped us through hard times, like the Civil War and after the Civil War.
Your heritage,
and also creates a sense of community.
Of community, exactly. So you get a lot of young people, a lot of kids in that helping too.
Unfortunately, there's less renovation. So a lot of hunters. Most hunters, they're just old people in Spain. We don't have that necessary renovation of young hunters coming in. But it's still quite strong. But
But we need more of them. That's what we're seeing over here. That's what I say to our hunters over here, and it's a message that I'd like to really drum home to people. What we're trying to do with our small group with Ridge, what we've tried to do with Wild Country and that for years, is say we need to get more of the kids out in the bush. We need that regeneration. We need that the new generations coming on.
And they love it.
Love it.
They love it. If you go, like I take a small kid, and I'm with him, and I say, come hunting with me. They love it. They love it. And for example, if we are ferreting, it's the best for them because you just say, watch that hole. And when the rabbit comes, untangle it on the net, you need to jump on the rabbit. And they just love it.
Love it.
Little adventure for them.
And that's, to me, there's so many kids out there now that are lost. I was waiting to pick you up from the train yesterday, and there was 3 young guys come along, and they're all, probably 13, 12 to 14 years old, basically. And they look like they're up to no good. They just look like they were looking for trouble, whether they got a graffiti or whatever. And you thought, if those kids got a chance, if they got a chance to get out in the bush and do stuff like that, well, maybe they'd think less about spray painting or sniffing glue or doing something like that, or getting into trouble, fights or stealing. They'd think less about that and more about the next time they could come out in the bush hunting. And it's just, to me, it's such a waste of that young generation. It's a waste of food. And there's a lot of people that are now homeless and starving in this country. What's it like in Spain? Have you got a lot of homeless people there?
Yeah, we have a good amount,
Right. So you think more here, or?
I don't know the numbers, but I can tell you that it's shocking when you go to Brisbane City, for example.
Brisbane City,
yeah. And you can see way more homeless than, for example, if you go to Valencia, like Valencia City, way more. There's no point of comparison.
We're supposed to be the lucky country.
So
we're supposed to be the lucky country, and a rich country, and we've got, you're saying, more people.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's what I'm
way
seeing
more,
too.
way more.
I thought that's what
Yeah.
I see when I drive around. Is like I went past one of the parks on the way down to Brisbane there the other day, and there's like permanent homeless people in those parks. Yeah, and it's like, what's going on here? There never used to be any. No, I remember, 10 years ago you did not see it. Pre-COVID, you did not see it. And to think then that people are going out and destroying like
The animals. Yeah.
animals like deer by the thousands and letting them rot.
Yeah.
And there's people.
Well, there are people in the streets.
You can't afford to buy meat. It's
just
inhumane.
Unfair.
It's it's un-Australian.
Yeah.
And this is the message that I'm trying to get across to people here now too, that we've got an election coming up very soon. And we've been going around, and like it was great to have you there at that meeting the other night. Shooters Union gave us great support. Catter Australia Party with Nick D'Amito, great support. Malcolm Roberts the other night, once he actually gave me an hour of his time, face to face, this far apart, and you saw it. I was there and looked him in the eye for an hour, described the situation that we've got here, and he said, "You've got my 100% support." Yeah, and I took that as a huge compliment for what we've been doing. That he took the time to listen. It was so generous of him. I've got a meeting soon to see some of the Liberal National people around here, and I'm sure we've got some great people in the Liberal National Party, especially in the rural areas, that understand, and they do feel the same way. They give a damn about those people. They want to change it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping like heck that those people get a chance to do that soon.
Yeah.
And it's about time that we see the Conservative people work together.
Yeah.
Work together. Stand together. And it's a message I'm trying to get across to people. We've got less than a month to our election. Make your vote count. Research what's going on. Have a look at our Ridge website because we've got a lot of the details of what we're facing. And this one of the things I got across to Malcolm the other night was that the right to go out and hunt and provide food for your family is basically the foundation. Yeah. To protect your family and feed your family, there's nothing more basic than that in the world. Yeah. And they're the things that are getting eroded away totally. And how can a strong society build when it hasn't got those foundations? It can't. That's it. We're going to fall down.
Yeah, and as you said, it's hunting also with the meat, with harvesting animals. Yeah. It's a way also to be generous to other people. Like now that you were talking about homeless people,
yes,
I just remember that in our town right now we are working to all the wild boar meat.
Yes,
we are harvesting because we are killing a lot of wild boar.
So you got a lot of wild boar there as well.
To just give it to homeless people.
Right.
Yeah, and most of the hunters, as I'm saying to you, rabbit is honored. Yeah. And we respect a lot of the rabbit. So, for example, my cousin or a lot of friends that I have, if they don't have the time or they just find the opportunity to just give the rabbit to poor people,
right?
They just do it. And not a rabbit goes to waste. Not a rabbit goes to waste. If you don't want it for the paella or you have a friend or someone that, they are having a troubled time with the economy, you just go there and they will use the rabbit.
Yeah, this is
for sure
the disgusting thing that we're facing here, because in some areas, like Judy and I, at one stage there, we were shooting 30 odd deer a night, chittle deer, axis deer up north. I'll show you some photos and that of those deer because you haven't seen them. You haven't seen the axis yet. Beautiful deer. We were shooting like 30 a night and skinning them, Judy and I, to try and do something with these deer because the landowners wanted them removed because they had pressure put on them from government to remove the deer on their land. In the end, they put the helicopters in the air and they just shot thousands upon thousands and thousands and left them lie. But we could have gone there with a chiller box, with a cold room, shot, hygienically, cut that venison up, in perfect conditions without, very sanitary. And we could have gone around to these people that are doing it tough and given it to them. And we would.
Yeah.
If we could cover the cost of fuel, to do it, we'd do it. If we went and gave these homeless people food, decent food to eat, we'd be locked up. Yeah. We'd go to jail. Simple as that. We would go to jail and lose everything we have. We can't even give it. We have to shoot excess deer and leave it lie on the ground to rot. And we cannot give it by legislation. We're not allowed to gift it or give it to somebody in need. And that is immoral. And this is what I say to people again here. If you're watching, if you've stuck with us this long on the clip, what the left-wing governments of this state have done over successive years has been immoral, right? They would rather let somebody starve or beg for government handout than to have their community get off their tail and help them. You know?
That's against all natural humanity.
It is. It's against humanity.
It's against humanity.
And this is what we've faced for a long time. And these people, a lot of these people think it right. And I mean, I talked with some people at one of the universities there just the other day, and lovely young people. They're very green. They're very environmentally focused, and they probably do vote green and all the rest of it. But I'm not having to go at them for that. Lovely. They're lovely people. When we talked about thousands of deer being shot and left to rot, we had a common bond. These people they said that's disgusting, and you know, one young lass was a vegan, and even she said that's disgusting, you know, and I thought all power to you. You know, we have got commonality with a lot of people there that oftentimes was the Greens, and we write them off as being crazies and whatever, and some of them are absolute crazies. But there's a lot of good people out there that might not eat meat, and they might be, you know, vote for the Greens or whatever else. But when we put the situation we're facing in front of them and say, what would you rather do? Would you rather see those animals harvested and given across to people in need than wasted on the ground? They give us full support. So there's common ground there that's been, how do I say, it's been overlooked, and it's been purposely, both sides have been put against each other. There's a lot of common people out there that should support what we're doing. The different nationalities, different, all the rest of it.
And different ideologies. Myself, I'm not just a hunter. I participate with a couple of NGOs. One to protect reptiles in Spain, another one to protect osprey, like the
birds of prey.
The osprey. And there's a lot of Greens, a lot of, you know, this kind of people. And I found myself in the same situation as you, and most of them, not all of them, but most of them support hunting.
Yes, because
you know they won't hunt at all. They will, you know, most of them are vegans or you know whatever.
And that's no problem.
Yeah, because they know it's most of them they know it's a good way.
I've always said that hunters are the best conservationists because they don't want, a true hunter does not want to wipe anything out. He wants to conserve. He wants the environment to stay the same. He wants to improve things. He doesn't want to see things get out of control. So we've got some commonality there that we need to work on.
Yeah, but the problem I see here and the difference with Spain is that there is in Spain, regardless of all the the last year regulations which are putting hunters down, they're picking on us, even though there is a hunting legislation, which here I'm seeing that it's not like that.
There's no hunting legislation in Queensland.
No.
Other states they have, but that's under threat. But we in Queensland, no hunting legislation at all. It's just, and this is causing those problems. This is causing the wastage and and what we're seeing too. We've been talking closely with the Aboriginal people up and down the coast here, and we've had great support because they're saying the same thing. They want to get their people back on country. They want to get out there, and they say, we know we can't go out there and just kill, possums and kill koalas and kill like they used to do. Right? But they say, we love venison. And and a lot of them don't have gun licenses and don't want gun licenses. A lot of them want to hunt, but they've never hunted before, so it's very hard for them. A lot of them don't have any access at all. We can't even give them venison. We can't even shoot it and give it to them. It's illegal. We are looking at how we bring them in with us.
Yeah.
As, brothers and sisters side by side, and it comes back to that one nation principle. We are one nation. We're all Australians, and we're all humans. We're all people together. We should be backing up each other and supporting each other and be allowed to do that. We've got crazy legislation here now in the Animal Care and Protection Act in Queensland that there is exemptions from prosecution for you under that act if you're Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders if you kill an animal.
Really?
But if you're not, if you're all other ethnic backgrounds of people, you can be prosecuted if you kill an animal under the Animal Care and Protection Act. Straight out blatant discrimination and racism of the worst kind being perpetrated by our left-wing governments in this state.
This is something that nobody, the rest of the world knows, or this is something I haven't been taught back in Spain. Something as if you didn't explain it to me, I wouldn't know. Yeah, well, we're trying, and I say to people again, get to the Ridge website, have a look at the stuff that we've put there. Young Kai has done a great job with a lot of that, and you can actually go and click on the hot links, and it'll take you to the legislation and show you what our legislation is like. And so somebody can easily go there, click on the document, and go through and actually see where it all fits together. And once you do, it's like this jigsaw puzzle. And he puts it all together, and you look and you can see the picture. You can look and say, this is wrong. It's just totally wrong. We need a change. We need a change for the better. And it's great to have people like yourself in here, because what it does is it helps to fortify how I feel, because here's somebody on the other side of the world that and a lot younger, a few years younger. What are you laughing about? And but you're facing a lot of the same things, but you've had successes in areas where we haven't had success. And so it gives me inspiration to say it can be done. It can be done. We just need strong people. So and to stand all together.
Stand together.
The things that they are common to us.
The commonality, that's it. We need to look at the things that are common, that bring us together, not rip us apart.
Exactly.
And it's good.
Can't agree more.
Thank you very much, Bud. And now we're going to go out this afternoon. I've got some dingo traps to check, and we might be able to show you a few deer in the wild there, and a few other critters.
Looking forward.
Find you a snake. That's it.
Let's see.
Okay, everybody, thanks for watching, and more from us as soon as we can.